There's just so much going on. The Soviet Union still exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just complete wild shit happening constantly.
Yeah, it's like I would describe it as if the lead singer of Vampire Weekend wrote Dragon Ball Z as a love letter to Kanye West.
Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm a Caprese boy.
And we're back in this new year to make a triumphant return to the world's most problematic city, Yokio. Before we don our midnight blue tuxes to the black and white ball, remember you can help us on Mortify the Legitimacy Quest by subscribing to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, signing up for our monthly newsletter through the link in our show notes, or following us on Twitter at MortifiedPod.
And exciting developments. We have a Tumblr now, mortifiedpod.tumblr.com. Aaron and I are excellent shit posters, and also we post clips and stuff on there, so if you're Tumblr minded, please follow us there. Again, mortifiedpod.tumblr.com, and sign up for our newsletter, because that's coming out tomorrow with this episode. So, but don't worry if you miss it, because guess what? I posted on Twitter. It's almost like everything is interconnected.
That's right.
Aaron, How was your new year?
You know, I spent it with you and some other people who have been on this show before, so it was actually pretty good. You know, we hung out, we played some Jackbox games, and me and Sierra drank an entire bottle of champagne, so it kind of ruled.
Hey! Yeah, it did rule. You were very loose by the end of the night.
Oh, yeah. That's about as drunk as I've ever got in front of my internet friends before, so it's exciting.
Oh, I took about 9 shots and barely crossed tipsy.
You were fine, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was buck fucking wild. Do you have a New Year's resolution that you wish to state publicly to hold yourself accountable to?
I mean, sometimes I do New Year's resolutions, but, you know, after 2020 and going into 2021, I think it's just to try to be kind to myself and others and not lose the hope.
That is very practical and also very sweet, and I wish you luck in this endeavor.
Me too. Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I want to drink a gallon of water a day.
A gallon?
I just bought a gallon water bottle. It's in the dishwasher. I'm gonna try.
Well, I think your kidneys will be pristine, and I wish the best for them.
Thank you. I hope my kidneys and I can strike a new fresh relationship here in 2021.
Yep, I'm sure you'll be seeing them a lot. So on that ominous note, we last time, our last episode, we briefly covered Jaden Smith's anime Neo Yokio. We covered the Christmas special, which was just an hour-long like mini movie, which you know, was certainly interesting and enlightening about the universe of Neo Yokio. But you thought it'd be a good idea to cover the whole show, which is only 6 episodes. They're very short, fun, and easy to get through. But they did not add any additional context that the movie might have required of you, which, you know, I appreciated.
Yeah, the show is chaos. It is chaos personified, and rewatching it, mind you, so I've seen the Christmas special now 3 times, and the show itself, I think, also 3 times. Like I said, it's 6 episodes. And all of my notes were just quotes. It is the most wildly quotable, insane 6 episodes of television you could subject yourself to. And if you walk into it sober, even if you don't imbibe a substance, you will walk out of it not sober.
Yeah, I definitely got like a contact high after like one of my first notes is literally just like, oh, the Prime Minister of Chanel. I see.
A throwaway line that is never mentioned again.
Which, like, I hate that in like fantasy like books. Specifically, I'm thinking of like I tried to get into Django Wexler, and I'm sure he's a great author, but like he started one of his books with just like, hey, here's a bunch of nouns that you, as somebody who's never read any of this series coming in, You will have to learn through the course of this book. But like if you stick them all in the first 5 minutes of your book, that's when I check out. I'm just like I don't know what these nouns mean. Sorry, dog. In in Neo Yokio, they're all meaningless anyway. So I was like, you know what, this is fine actually.
Well, isn't capitalism in itself meaningless, Aaron?
I mean, I don't know. I think Jaden, or Kaz, as his character is called, tries to find some meaning in capitalism, and I guess it's up to the viewer whether or not he comes out with a new interpretation of life.
Well, he's not even that elegant. The only thing elegant about him is his taste in luxury chocolates.
I am not nouveau riche.
Truly, like, by the way, that luxury chocolates thing happens before Helena St. Tessero, another character in this wild romp, has to save Kaz from being sacrificed to summon a demon so that Helena's cult following can get possessed like she did. And she comes in and smashes them all over the head with a giant Toblerone. When we say this show is chaos, the show is chaos.
Yeah, like we're saying all this, and like if you've never seen this show, it won't make any sense to you. It also still does not make any sense to me. Like watching it didn't provide any additional context, which I think is fine for the way that they presented it, because like you said, right, it's just sort of like, hey, here's a bunch of brands and names, and only everybody only cares about getting rich and being perceived as rich. Like the one of the main plot points, which is this bachelor ranking, is never explained. They just say like, okay, oh, well, now that you've broken up with your girlfriend Kathy, you're back on the bachelor board, and like. And then his ranking goes up and down throughout the course of the series, but like they don't explain why the Bachelor Board is important, or what its history is, or its significance throughout. Why there's a big most eligible bachelors thing in Neo Yokio. It's just there.
In like Times Square, by the way, like this is a central feature of Neo Yokio. Is this, and the top 7 bachelors are displayed on the Bachelor Board, and it's usually Kaz. Though his ranking slips kind of up and down throughout the series. And his arch nemesis and Aaron's arch nemesis, Arcangelo
Yes.
Corelli, my angel.
Yes, of course. Leyla keeping in her tradition of loving terrible men.
Oh, so awful.
We should probably try to summarize the plot. So basically, Kaz, Jaden Smith, lives in Neo Yokio, which is a combination of New York City and Tokyo. He is a demon hunter.
Like, not even.
I mean, like, not really, though. Like, it's just, like, anime tropes, but it's mostly New York, except like, half of it's underwater.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, global warming. But, like, basically, he comes from a family of demon hunters, so he has superpowers. And, like, the superpowers barely factor into anything, which I appreciate. They're really not the central focus, which is hysterical, and perhaps what all anime should be. But anyway, it follows his journey throughout this. He's trying to. He's employed as this demon hunter, but that's really a side thing as he learns about this girl that he is kind of into, Helena St. Tessero, who has this revelation after being possessed by a demon that like Neo Yokio is this big capitalist hellscape and it should be destroyed. And she at the end like eventually bombs this bachelor board, and like becomes a terrorist, and Jaden or Kaz has to get her out. And like that's basically the story. I mean, there's a lot of extra, fun, colorful side characters, but that's the main plot. It's pretty wild. There's just so much going on. The Soviet Union still exists. Just complete wild shit happening constantly.
Yeah, it's like I would describe it as if the lead singer of Vampire Weekend wrote Dragon Ball Z as a love letter to Kanye West.
I mean, you talked about this on the last episode, but Ezra Koenig, the lead singer of Vampire Weekend, is the guy who wrote this show, right?
Yes, absolutely 100%. So imagine that guy writing Dragon Ball Z, but it's like kind of about Kanye West. That is what this show feels like. It is a strange superhero romp with no rules. The powers kind of barely factor into it, and it's mostly about brands.
Very, very much so. Like the first like scene where Jaden's just like, I have to go shopping to get a new suit for this thing. He goes into Bergdorf's, which is apparently like a rich people shopping store, and he is blindfolded and he is shopping for his tuxedo by feel alone. And I was like, oh my god, he sucks so bad.
And who's there? Our clerk from the Christmas special.
Yeah, I was pleased to see him. I missed him, and he shows up throughout the series, like at the polo hockey games, or at all of the major events.
He's also at the black and white ball with Aunt Agatha. Like, who is this clerk that he's invited to these fucking high society functions? I'll tell you who he is. The show had no budget, so it's all 5 extras. There's no extras, no crowds, no nothing. This show is made on a shoestring budget, and it shows, but, like, it's not made on a shoestring budget in that way where, like, the writing took a hit, or, like, I don't know, like, the art is, like, janky in one scene, but you could tell they, like, put all the... No. It is all shoestring, and they're like, okay, none of this is gonna make any sense. All of this is gonna look insane. We're just gonna have fun. And like, I'm a Caprese boy now. You know what I mean? Like, there's a major subplot about a Caprese martini that carries over into the Christmas special, but it is born in the main series. And I'm obsessed with it. Which, by the way, NeoYokioChristmas.com with Caprese Boy merch is still up. Epilepsy warning. If you go to it, don't click on anything. But if you want to go and look at the fake merch that they made, it is still up, and it's absolutely fucking delightful.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it. Fuck material. Okay. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I was so upset I wanted one of those sweaters.
Yeah, they look cool. Man.
Fuck material goods.
You gotta. Should we talk about some of the characters?
I mean, I think we have to, because we can't explain the fucking plot.
That's an excellent point. We've already talked about Kaz Khan. We could talk about his Aunt Agatha, who is, as you've described in our summary, a chaos agent.
Absolutely. Anytime anything is happening, Aunt Agatha will call Kaz and ruin it. For no reason.
Yeah, literally just like, oh, hey, Kaz, you had this thing planned? I have a job for you. And you either have to, cancel on it or try to do both at the same time. I really liked that when he was trying to go on this date with this pop star from Tennessee at the same time as, defend the museum from demons, which was really funny.
Yeah, which, by the way, the pop star's name, who he's trying to date, her name is Saint Pellegrino, like San Pellegrino, the fancy soda. The rich people LaCroix. Her name is Saint Pellegrino. I fucking love that joke. Also, she has an offensive southern accent. But we love her because she is a pop star who has her own business cards that say pop star on them, and also came out singing opera at a basketball game.
That was such a good reveal, because like she's like, I'm gonna sing the Neo Yokio national anthem, and it's like this heart-stirring, operatic ballad, and then she's like, howdy, y'all. I was just like, oh, hell yeah.
She's a fucking delight, and she's very, like, pro, because Cass is like, because Aunt Agatha calls him, and she's just like, by the way, you're running security for the black and white ball, and he's like, oh, but Aunt Agatha, I'm taking St. Pellegrino to the game, or to the ball, and she's like, I don't give a shit. Go. And he's like, okay, and he rides his robot, which, by the way, he has a robot butler. He rides his robot butler to go visit St. Pellegrino, and he's just like, hey, I have to work, like, I'm so sorry, you deserve somebody better to take you to this thing. And she's just like, oh, honey, there ain't nothing wrong taking it. I was just like, that accent is coming out a lot at me right now, but she is saying that it's cool to work for your money, so you know what, I'm still pro St. Pellegrino. And it's wild that her southern accent is insane, but Mila sounds convincingly Russian.
Yeah, at some point there's a Soviet Union race car driver, and yeah, like, I don't know, you're the Russian expert here. She sounded pretty good to me.
It's weird because her accent sounded kind of fake, but her Russian sounded really, really good. So I'm wondering if it's a situation like me where, like, you're fluent, but you just can't put the accent onto, like, English words. Because I can't. Like, I can't do an English or a Russian accent on my English. But I'm fluent in Russian and I don't have an American accent.
Okay, also, I just went back through my notes. It's not Saint Pellegrino, it's Sailor Pellegrino.
Sailor Pellegrino.
Which is actually better because it is both better. The soda joke and also Sailor Moon, which rules.
That's so hard.
Oh.
God. I
Oh
love
my
Sailor
god.
Pellegrino. I'm Team Sailor Pellegrino.
No, she's absolutely just like, no, it's my mom had to work to get me through Popsicle school, so I'm happy that you
She
can
had
work through this ball. So
3 jobs in North Clackalacka or whatever the fuck made up town she comes from.
yeah, North Carolina.
So she's a breath of fresh air in this insanity. Because she's very pro work. Okay, so we talked about Cass, we talked about Aunt Agatha. This is actually a perfect transition into Helena St. Tessero, the world's premier fashion blogger. She got a custom Chanel suit from the Prime Minister of Chanel that was possessed by a demon, and that's like episode 2.
It's literally the first episode. Like that's
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's your introduction to this world.
Yeah. And I like Helena St. Tessero a lot because she is the only character who grows throughout this entire. She's like the only person who has like a real arc. I mean, I guess Kaz like sort of becomes disillusioned with Neo Yokio, but I mean, at the beginning and the end, he sort of still ends up watching women play tennis on a rooftop. So like, I don't know how much his arc has actually shifted, but she's actually like, no, I realized that being rich is bad, actually. So I'm gonna do a terrorist attack on a big stupid sign and then get spirited away in the nose of a race car away to Canada. Where does she run away to?
Connecticut?
Connecticut.
Well, no, they try to go to Connecticut and then they have to go to Jersey.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's and they have to escape. Okay, they have to escape by way of Kaz's job was to make sure that the Soviet race car driver didn't defect. She defects, so Kaz says that Helena should put on the uniform of the Soviet driver while she's being headhunted by this like judge. Wild. And then that doesn't work, so Kaz has to put on the Soviet driver's suit, and then he puts Helena in a Louis Vuitton bag in the nose of his car, and they drive, and they almost make it all the way to the race, and he almost spitefully wins against his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, but then he's like, no, I gotta go. And he takes the last second turn to the Lincoln Tunnel, and takes the bag, where Helena technically isn't, but he takes the bag, and he thinks Helena's in there, out into New Jersey. That is in like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not even a whole episode. That's a side arc.
Yeah. I mean, it's really impressive, I think, just the way that they managed to wrap up all these weird stories into these very small episodes. I think they do a great job of just, packaging the insanity in something that's believable and consumable and fun.
Well, also, like, it's insane to me that all of this happens and, like, Helena and Kaz have the most convincing emotional arc I've seen in a while, where, like, they clearly, like, he says they've hooked up before, they've clearly been friends for a long time, they were, like, kind of flirty in the beginning, and then when she, like, she goes full hikikomori, just, like, locks herself in a room. Like, any normal, like, anime or cartoon would have these two characters kind of turn against each other, but they stay friends. Like, they turn against each other, but they still, like, try to come together. They try to see eye to eye, and they have this, like, very clearly complicated relationship where they save each other, but then they fight, and then they save each other again, but then they fight, and then in the end, like, Helena comes to Kaz for help getting out of the city, and he's like, they're saying you blew up the bachelor board, and she's like, I fucking did. And he still helps her. Like, it's very... Like, it's so strikingly nuanced that you're like, this chaos show makes no sense. How is this emotional core working? I don't fucking understand. We should also say Helena has a cult following called the Hellenists.
To quote the Hellenists, Helena has not lost the plot. Helena is the plot. And the author. And the main character.
As they refuse to wear their school uniforms and just wear hospital gowns like Helena does and renounce fashion, so Kaz has to go teach them elegance.
It's so good.
This show Galaxy Brain's so fucking
This is
hard.
the same. This is the same show episode where, like you said, she rescues him by beating her followers over the head with a Toblerone, and then when he's like, "How come you knew to come save me?" She says, I had a dream that a Toblerone was in trouble, and that Toblerone was you.
What would your metaphysical candy representation be?
Oh, I think, gosh, Probably a Kit Kat.
Man, a bitch loves imported Kit Kats. Have you ever had the Japanese flavors? They're fucking excellent. Yeah, I think I'd be Oh wow, I asked the question and I don't have my own answer. Isn't that fucking tragic? I think I'd probably be a Twix.
That's good. That's a good answer.
Twixes are my favorite, I think. Well, Kit Kats are my favorite, but we can't both be Kit Kats.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Arcangelo Corelli.
Okay, we have to talk about Arcangelo. All right.
We do. Sound less excited.
Gosh, he's very much like, if Kaz is like a flawed rich person that is like trying to work through their problems with consumerism, Arcangelo is like the opposite of that. He's like very much completely bought into the high society of Neo Yokio, and he's like a huge douchebag. At one point, he he's making fun of Kaz because Kaz, instead of getting a black tux, has a midnight blue tux. It's the very, very darkest shade of blue, and for some reason everyone can tell, which is very funny. But Kaz goes to shop at Bergdorf's, and Arcangelo's in the next changing room. He says, "Kaz Khan, the Midnight Blue Dawn." Arcangelo, what? Do you live here? I wish I lived here. Me too. Which kind of sums up their whole relationship. They're both, they both are rivals and hate each other, but they also have this fondness for the high society of Neo Yokio, which is detestable.
I don't know. I would argue that Arcangelo has always will be, and continues to be, and will forever be in love with Kaz, because all it takes for him to become obsessed with Kaz is the destruction of the fucking Bachelor board. Because as soon as that goes down, Arcangelo's like, there's no more East Side gentlemen and West Side gentlemen. Now we're all just gentlemen. And he tries so fucking hard to be Kaz's friend, to the point where, like, the pivotal conflict, like, Kaz needs help getting this race car out, and he's just like, hey, you can't hit my car. I need to get out of here. And Arcangelo's like, I'll help you, but I'll only do it for a homie. And Kaz is like, oh, fucking do it then. And Arcangelo's like, say we're homies. And Kaz has to tell him they're homies for him to fucking stop the French-Canadian driver from slamming into his car. It is, mwah! I love Arcangelo. Also, I just want to mention, the Midnight Blue Tux is a fucking plot point, not only for Arcangelo wearing the Midnight Blue Tux and, like, calling Kaz out for being nouveau riche, because it's, like, trendy to wear a Midnight Blue Tux to the black and white ball if old money does it. But the main villain of episode 1 is the demon that possesses Helena St. Tessero, which then goes from the bespoke Chanel suit into, oh my god, what is it called?
The skull, right? The crystal encrusted skull or something?
Yeah, it has like a name. Okay, so it's a crystal encrusted skull. I googled it. It's real.
Oh shit.
It's real. The crystal skull is real. Like, whatever the artist is, that's real. You can Google it. It's there. And so the demon possesses this diamond skull because apparently diamonds amplify demonic power. This never comes back. And Kaz is wearing a black tux now against the midnight blue sky, and the skull just goes, I see you, bitch! Wearing a black tux against the midnight blue sky.
That piece is actually called For the Love of God by Damien Hirst.
Yes.
2007.
And it's real.
Yep.
Someone put a cast of a human skull in a bunch of diamonds, and they put it in a museum. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it do. I just know it's real.
According to Wikipedia, the artwork is a memento mori, or a reminder of the mortality of the viewer. Thanks, Damien.
Am I gonna turn into diamonds when I die? Well, I plan on turning into diamonds. I don't know if y'all have heard, but you can get your ashes compressed into diamonds. I want to do that. I want somebody to put my ashes in diamonds and then put the diamonds in my skull eye holes. So then my ashes can just watch over my family home.
I think you should revise your stance on having children specifically for that reason.
I might adopt someday.
There we go.
My body cannot physically have those, and also pregnancy is terrifying.
That's fair.
But yeah, I truly, like, what is that supposed to do? I don't know, but now it's in this weird Jaden Smith anime, which, like, Netflix never formally canceled. Where's season 2, Ezra? Why isn't Friend Like You on Spotify, Ezra? I want more of this weird show. I want less of that one transphobic ass episode that was weird.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Because
yeah, it was gross. Didn't
yeah,
like it.
so there's one part where Kaz's friend
Lexi and Gottfried.
Lexi and Gottfried, they're checking out this pool for Kaz's uncle because he died. And they fall into the pool, and the pool has like a spell on it, so it turns Lexi into a woman and Gottfried into a panda. And the panda stuff is all fine, but they do make Lexi into a woman, and I don't think it's handled especially well.
No, because he Kaz is gross in this episode too, like uncharacteristically gross. He like makes Lexi go with him to this party as his date, and then Lexi like uses the opportunity to hook up with a queer woman.
Yes, yeah,
which is really gross. And not in like and then like he gives Kaz this whole lecture on like
how gender is a spectrum, and like
which is just out of place and gross.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do that first stuff, you don't get a lecture us about the second stuff. Like,
No, it was bad. The one thing I appreciate about Lexi getting a woman's body, or well, like a cis woman's body, is that he does immediately discover tits as pockets.
Yes, I did remember. I did see that where he's just like, bloop.
Which is, if y'all have tits, you know, that's a pocket now. If you have to wear, well, we don't have to, but if you wear women's clothes, well, quote unquote women's clothes, you know, there's never any pockets. Never any good pockets. They're always shallow as shit. You gotta use tits if you have them. Or purses, but mostly tits. So, like, you know what? I do appreciate that one little detail that got in there. He just pops it right in there. But yeah, the rest of the episode is incredibly uncomfortable. Also, why is Kathy British?
I mean, I guess Charles is also kind of British, so it makes sense. I'm glad they clarified that she is his pilot and not actually Charles himself, although it's, you know, she's still kind of Charles, but it does make a little bit more sense, because especially like at the end when Charles runs out of power and like she comes out and yells at Cass, and then Lexi and Gottlieb are like, yeah, man, of course she's his pilot. Don't you know how mechas work?
He's like, no, I got him secondhand.
Which was a really funny anime joke.
What does that mean? Well, I meant Cass's ex-girlfriend. Yeah, why is she British? Because, like, Charles, I get it. It's like a butler stereotype. Yeah. Like his pilot, too. I forget her actual name. I'm pretty sure the lady who voices Charles's pilot is... Oh, my God, what is her name? She's really famous. There's a bunch of really famous actors in this. Jude Law is Charles, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Don't know if we've mentioned that little tidbit.
Who is Dom DeLuise? I just said a name.
Andrew.com, Neo, Yokio, Susan... Oh, my God, it's Susan something.
Susan Sarandon?
Yes!
Okay.
I think. Let me check. Let me double check that. Yeah, it is. Susan Sarandon is both on Agatha, and I did not know Desus and Miro were Lexi and Gottlieb.
Huh.
Jason Schwartzman is Arcangelo. Yeah, Jude Law's Charles. Yeah, insanely star-studded cast for this. Absolutely. Rashida Jones is in this.
Yeah, like they
Stephen Fry.
I mean, it was probably just because like Jaden Smith knows people and like, you know, Koenig and knows people, and they were just like, hey, do you want to do something dumb for a second? And they were all like, probably like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, considering Willow Smith and Amanda Steinberg are Hellenists.
Wait, Willow Smith was in there? That rules.
Yeah, she's one of the Hellenists. This fucks. I'm, for the first time looking at this extended cast, I'm delighted. Yeah, who is Kathy? Just thought of while we're talking about her. Alexa Chung. I feel like I know that name.
Huh.
She's like a beauty... No, she's an actress. But I know her from something on YouTube. I forget what. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I don't understand why Cass's ex-girlfriend is British, considering she lives in Yokio and moved to San Francisco.
Yeah. Got a lot
is she British?
A lot of weird accents around here.
Yeah. I mean, some of them make more sense than others, I guess. But
yeah.
Yeah, everyone else is violently American, especially, as we said, Sailor Pellegrino.
Sailor Pellegrino's my favorite.
Angel.
Yeah, I think the main thing I got out of the show, like you said at the beginning, was just, like, it's extremely quotable. Like, I don't know that, like, you know, the story work is especially good. Like you know, Kaz and Helena's story is by far the most compelling, but everything else is just sort of, like, side commentary, which is funny. But like, there's just like a lot of wild shit in here. Like when they're taking the Soviet Union driver out like around and showing her all the bars. At one point, they go to this bar that's just like some person's apartment, and then she's like, "This is so cool. In Soviet Union, government would never let you keep Tiger in apartment block." And Lexi's just like, "No, I don't think it's allowed in Yokio either," which was really really good. As somebody
Yeah,
from
I mean,
Indiana, like that is a situation that I think could probably happen here.
yeah, I feel like I've been in similar situations just around Buffalo and Rochester.
Hmm.
I used to go to frat parties, but fucking yeah, I mean, this is very much like, let's be real. This is a rich person's critique of capitalism.
Hmm.
There's nothing I would say compelling or good here, but it is entertaining.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, so Helena gets possessed. This is like literally opening the show. Helena gets possessed, and Cash just goes, "Oh, Helena's possessed? Man, that sucks." Like, that's the tone the whole show takes. There's no stakes. There's no, like, real tone. There's no emotional core other than Helena. Like, it's just entertainment. And you know what? I think that's fine.
Yeah. You know what? If you, Jaden Smith, just want to make shows where you're like a melancholy rich teen who gets cheered up by squid ink pasta, like by all means.
Yeah, please tell me more about your old music teacher's Gregorian house teaching.
That's why he was so shady, because he didn't want anyone to know that his boyfriend plays Gregorian house, which is so fucking funny. Just like a mix between house music and Gregorian chants, which kinda slaps.
I would listen to it. That sounds like exactly what I would listen to in middle school. It's pretty much Nightwish.
Oh god. Incredible.
Yeah. I'm just looking at all these quotes. What up, city bitch? It's very good. Like, there's just a lot of very, like, quotable, very good things in this show, but, like, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, like listen, it's not a work of art, but
Well,
hmm,
I think so. I think it's art.
sure, but I wouldn't say it's high art.
Oh, no. No.
Like listen, the Mona Lisa and a Banksy are not necessarily equivalent, but I like them about as much as each other.
The only good thing Banksy ever did was shred his own painting after someone bought it. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of funny.
That was really good. I will give Banks full credit for that one. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
The rest of it, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. And again, like a rich person's critique.
Banksy would fit really well in this universe.
I'm shocked he wasn't referenced, honestly, now that we talk about it. But, Jaden Smith was too busy dropping Cartier 1919 jokes left and right.
Yeah, jokes that I don't like. That's the problem, is that it was a little bit, the rich people jokes were a little bit too specific for the rest of us to sort of get.
My mom is obsessed with brands.
Oh no.
I grew up in a home filled to the brim with L's and Bazaars and Vogues. A bitch knows her Cartiers. I got the Bergdorf Goodman jokes. I got the Chanel's. I got it all. Very aspirational jokes. But I mean, like I said, it's like a love letter to Kanye West almost. You know what I mean? Like, it's very name-droppy and weird. And again, a rich person's critique of capitalism, which, like, man, there is so much more to critique. We got bigger problems.
Yeah, if we could have healthcare, that would be cool.
Oh, no, we don't need that. In a pandemic? Nah.
Oh.
No.
Do we have anything else we want to hit?
Just how much I love Archangelo. I don't know what it is about these, like, rich, shitty, spoiled boys that I just love so much. It's very much in my brand. Like, I love Hal Pendragon. I blame him. It started with him. I love Hal Pendragon. Diana Wynne Jones has this series called The Chronicles of Crestomancy. There's a spoiled rich brat in there. Love that shit. Diana Wynne Jones, author of Howl's Moving Castle. I just love like a harmless, spoiled, self-absorbed man. I think because I think it's funny, and if they're preoccupied with themselves, they're not preoccupied with, like, me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me laugh because it's like a version of a himbo that would feed me.
A dark himbo, yeah.
Yeah, capitalist himbo. But it does delight me, and I will continue to not have taste, I think. You guys can expect that to not change in 2021. I will continue to be a tasteless monster who loves shitty rich boys. And Aaron is going to continue to love women who should be stepping on him at all times. And you know what? That's fine.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Really none of those in the show for you. We need
Yeah.
to watch more things with Mean Girls. I'm sure if we put out our feelers and we were like, hey, where's point us in a way of an anime with a mean bitch? People would have some things to say, I'm sure.
Oh,
Our
yes.
audience of 10.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. But you know, we love each and every one of you, and not because you all personally know us.
I'm sure there's like, if you're a stranger, email us at mortifiedpod@gmail.com. Let us know.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate you very much. Yeah, I mean, do we want to just, try to set up what we're doing for the rest of the month?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so as always, if you want this information in written form, you want it coming to you, you should sign up for our newsletter, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Tumblr. It's Mortified Pod everywhere. For the rest of the month, here's what we're doing. So we did Yokio today. Next week, I will be reading Jade City by Fonda Lee, a book that has come up a couple of times colloquially, so I'm very excited to actually get into it. In 2 weeks, we are subjecting ourselves to The Greatest Showman.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-huh, hey, it was your fucking idea.
Yeah, Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna both pay for it. Thrilled. And then we're gonna dip our little toesies into some One Piece. And that's January.
Yeah, One Piece will be good. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to meet all these stretchy boys.
Yes, incredibly long boys. I do love a lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that everyone in One Piece looks a little fucked up.
Oh yeah, they're all very long and have various monster factory qualities.
We love that too. We love that about them.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of really delightful things on our brainstorming list that I look forward to.
Yeah, I think we got a good solid ideas lineup, so you can expect us to consume some media in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, we'll be doing that for sure. Aaron, is there anything you want to close out on? I feel like we can usually make it to 45 minutes.
I don't know. It's a short show.
It's a short boy.
Yeah. Like I said, just a lot of quotes.
Yeah, incredibly quotable. Though, like, if you really think about the plot, you could summarize it in about 3 sentences. So, if you want to knock out 6 episodes in a movie, nice afternoon.
Yeah, no, it's a very pleasant way to spend some time and think about how rich people are trying to be relatable is maybe not the best time, but you know what? It's fine because they made some incredibly entertaining content.
Listen, I would much rather rich people try to be relatable than to sing Imagine at me on Twitter, so...
That's fair.
Anyway, Aaron, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet at MBMBF and me. So our last our episode that's going up probably the same day that this episode goes up was our Christmas special where me, Michael, Josh, and my wife Sierra watched the 2011 play where me and Sierra were both in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And we have thoughts about that musical. If you love hearing me and Leyla bash Andrew Lloyd Webber, definitely check that out. So that'll be a good one.
Wow. Yeah, okay. You can find me at LEYLSES on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a webcomic at astroheartcomic.com. That'll be coming back very, very soon. I also write essays at leilamamadova.com/blog, and this month, I think I'm going to write probably about, I seem to curse myself whenever I say I'm going to write about something and I don't end up writing about that thing. But probably this month I'm going to talk about how the form of a story serves its function. Namely, I'm going to talk about Yashahime Princess Half Demon, which is the sequel to Inuyasha, and why it's a shonen sequel to a shoujo, and also Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which we will be discussing on this podcast soon-ish, I think in like March. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that essay. You should also know that our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. Find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Layla, what do we say when we're contemplating the absurdity of time and space in the future?
Oh, who cares what time it is when the future is an indeterminable abyss of whackness?
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week.